back to my YouTube channel, but if you're new here, my name is Brittany and I'm a Chicago-based lifestyle content creator. This video, I'm still honestly we're kind of building the plane as we fly because I hate that phrase. It really gives corporate, but I'm trying to decide the exact angle of how I want to approach this video, but I'm starting it now because I want it to span over the course of about a couple months. So if you have been watching any of my videos, really since I started my YouTube channel, I've mentioned how I've been on this kind of get back into fitness, wellness, get my health back together journey, I guess you could say. So it's been almost exactly a year since I really started taking that, I'll say, a bit more seriously, or actually had a true path of okay, I kind of have figured out what I'm doing and making improvements. So I feel I'm really making strides recently, but I'm still kind of working on some things and trying to get to, for lack of a better word, get across the finish line. So with that being said though, I really don't want this to be about weight loss specifically, although that is kind of a component of what I've been working on, because weight is, it is obviously a health factor, but it is really just a number at the end of the day. I needed to work on my weight just because it was making me unhealthy, but it's not I don't know, weight is just a number and your weight does not define you. And I don't want to be another voice on the internet telling people how to lose weight, because that I feel is a very, very slippery slope. And as an additional disclaimer, I am not a doctor. I am not a dietitian. I am not a personal trainer, any of that. So take everything that I say with a grain of salt. Please consult a professional in any of those categories before you decide to start a new fitness plan, wellness plan, whatever. There are a lot of people on the internet who claim to be experts in things that they're not. I'm not going to be one of those people. So you want to hear what I have to say? Great, but I'm not a professional. If weight in general, or even talking about eating or exercising is something that is, I guess, triggering to you, probably isn't a good video to watch, but otherwise stick around. So like I said, I've been on this health fitness journey for literally almost exactly a year. I looked back and I had my first doctor's appointment with a new PCP to focus on weight management and weight loss in in June of 2023. It's currently June of 2024. In that time period, I have lost just under 40 pounds. So I've lost, I think, 36 pounds. Yeah, 36 pounds as of 37 pounds as of yesterday when I last weighed myself. So to back it up a little bit, I've always been I'm not a small person. I'm pretty tall. I'm taller for a woman. I'm 5'7" ish, maybe 5'7". Honestly don't know how tall I am. 5'7" to 5'8". And I'm pretty curvy. I hate all these labels and phrases, but I am I'm just not a skinny person. I never have been. I've never existed in a small body, which I've never really had any issue with personally. I will say I'm fortunate in that given that I'm 35, grew up in the 90s and the 2000s, I haven't really ever had a lot of body image issues, I guess you could say, in terms of I've never compared myself that often to other people around me in terms of how they look versus how I look. I've never been really that caught up on how much I weigh or the number on the scale and things like that. But I've just always I don't remember a time in my life when I ever weighed under 120 pounds, when I weighed less than 120 pounds, just to give you some context. Again, I'm not a small person, but I don't know, I just weight irks. Yeah, weight in particular, and even food isn't something I've thought that I have a lot of emotional, I guess, ties to. Food is not good or bad. There's no moral value behind food. I like to eat what I like and I enjoy eating, and weighing more or weighing less doesn't make you a good or a bad person or a better person or more deserving of anything else. So like I said, I have been on a little bit of a weight loss journey though, because I did gain just about 50 pounds during the pandemic. Within, I would say, it probably took a year. It happened very slowly, but then all at once. I actually looked back when I last year when I was okay, I feel something is wrong. Things are feeling weird. I was I can't fit into any of my clothes. And I had even rebought new clothes since I had started gaining weight. I was oh, let me just buy some new clothes. I feel comfortable in what I'm wearing. Those clothes were also too small now. My blood pressure, even though I'd been getting treated for that with my doctor, was getting really hot, was still high and not really going down. I was having such a hard time. I've always been a pretty athletic, active person. Working out was something I was dreading, and it was really everything I was trying to do was so hard. And I didn't have a scale, so I didn't realize how much weight I'd gained. But then once I did weigh myself and I put that into perspective, I was like, oh, well, that's why this is so hard. Like, it's hard to move around in my body. Like, and my true wake up call was I participated in a half marathon last June, and I've run the Chicago Marathon before. I've run many races. Like, I said I'm a pretty active person. Granted, I didn't train that well for this race, but I've run other half marathons or races that I haven't trained for before, and I was still able to like get through them fine. This was the hardest race I've ever run before. And I was just like, I know my body, something is up, because like I shouldn't, like this feels so hard and so bad. So literally I think the next day was when I was like, okay, I gotta do something. So, and I had been trying to just like figure out things on my own, but nothing was working. I really just like wasn't, and I wasn't eating that bad, but I just was way less active than I had been earlier on, or than I had been pre-pandemic, because I like went to Orange Theory a couple times a week, like commute, and just like living in a city, commuting, you walk a lot, and like my life was just very different than it was then. But it's not like I was eating like 50 tubs of ice cream a day and like being sedentary. I was still like out and about, but it just, I don't know, I just could not lose a single pound. So then I started working with a doctor, and about like a month after my first appointment, I did start taking a GLP-1, which I know there's a lot of buzz about these right now, and like a lot of it is not good buzz. Again, this is something, absolutely consult your doctor and talk with your doctor about. And like for me and my doctor, it felt like the right thing to do. I started taking Saxenda in like July of last year, and I was only able to take it for, I want to say, until the end of September, just because it was basically no longer available. I couldn't get my prescriptions refilled anymore. But in that time period, I lost, I want to say about, let me get my notes actually. Get my notes now. From July, like the beginning of July until the end of September, I lost like about 17 pounds. So when I first went to my doctor in that June, this was the highest I had ever weighed in my entire life. And I just, again, wasn't like really, I guess like not being body neutral is good and bad, in the sense that like, I didn't really think that much about, I wasn't like, oh, I feel weird. Or I wasn't like feeling any type of way emotionally about like the weight that I'd gained, but also I wasn't paying enough attention to my body to realize how much weight I had gained and how unhealthy I was like feeling. But when I went to my doctor in June, I weighed 237 pounds. And then by the end of September, I had gotten down to about 220 pounds. And just to, again, give perspective, I would say like before the pandemic, because that's what I'm basing on my like health, where like my target, I guess, like healthy range. I'm not 100% sure how much exactly I weighed, but somewhere between like 185 to 200 pounds, or I'd say, yeah, like just under 200 pounds, which that is for me, very healthy weight range. That's when I felt like the strongest, healthiest. I had just run a marathon like probably 4 months before that. So I was in very good shape and I felt very strong. So in that means that, yeah, like I said, I'd gained close to 50 pounds sometime between like February of 2020 and like June of last year. Anyway, I stopped taking Saxenda because I could no longer get it refilled. But I still was trying to like keep the like the eating habits that I'd had, and I was trying to get myself back into working out, but again, it was just felt very hard to do. Like every workout felt painful basically, because I was carrying around more weight than my body was like accustomed to. But I didn't gain any additional, like in that time period after I stopped taking Saxenda until I started taking another GLP-1 in January of this year, I didn't gain any weight back, which was good, but I also didn't lose like any more weight at all. So like then through the end of last year into the beginning of this year, I kind of was just maintaining what I had lost and kind of just trying to like slowly, I feel like a part of why I was having a hard time getting back into a good routine and getting in a good eating habit is because it was just so overwhelming to try to fix all at once. And so it was helpful to be able to kind of like bite size these things, because it was like, okay, I'd lost like 17 pounds. Yeah, about 17 pounds, and was able to like, in terms of taking like a GLP-1, it was helpful to me because it did kind of make my brain slow down when it came time to like eat. Like I was way less hungry, so I could think really realistically like, oh, how much do I really want to eat? What should I, like, I could make better decisions about food, which was like, to me, like a saving grace in that time period. Again, that sounds so dramatic, but like, I feel like very relatable to a lot of people. So anyway, in January of this year, I started taking Zepbound, which is like the weight loss version of Mounjaro. So I have been taking that since January, and since the beginning of the year, I think I've lost an additional, like, I've lost about 20 more pounds. So I've lost about 18 more pounds. So in that time period too, I run another half marathon. I actually vlogged about it. I ran the Disney half in February with my friend Leah. And I will say, like, that experience felt drastically different than the half marathon I had run the year before. And like, well, I did a little bit more training. Actually, no, I didn't. I did about the same amount of training, but just, I think because my body was like, what, 30 pounds lighter or 20 pounds lighter, it just felt so much easier. And it felt like a big win because I was like, okay, yes, I can do this. Like, I am back, baby. So I also, like, that I had really been trying to work on finding a good workout routine, something I can get back into and like be consistent with and stick to, because that's, again, something I've been having a hard time with. It's like, I know I need to find something that I can do that is approachable to me, like in the like where I am right now in terms of fitness. So I did ClassPass. I tried a bunch of different things. Now I actually have a pretty solid workout routine. So since the beginning of May, I've been going to Pilates. Like, I have a membership at Club Pilates. So I started going at the beginning of May, like I said, and I was going twice a week for the month of May. And now in June, I have an unlimited membership starting in June, and a new location opened up right by or pretty close to my apartment. So they had pretty good promos for like joining at the beginning. So that was helpful. But now I've been going in June, I've been going about 4 times a week. So I can already tell some improvements in terms of like my strength and what I'm able to do. And I've seen maybe very minor changes in my body since then. I'll try to include like some clips of me because I've been trying to like document these things, just because it is helpful in your journey to be like, oh yeah, I have come so far. I have been able to do these things. So but I can tell, like, there are some things that I can already tell, like, I couldn't do in my first class that I already feel like, oh yeah, I got this now, which is like a really good feeling. I actually just got back from a class like 20 minutes ago. It was hard. It was my first time taking that class. So it's called the Suspend class. So it's like TRX straps and you're like lifting your own body. It's a lot. It was a lot, but I really love Pilates. Like, it's something I feel like it was a very, for me, approachable workout. It's not, like I said, I did Orange Theory for a long time and I tried to do recently like Rumble, and a lot of other high intensity workouts, and they were like a little overwhelming and just like kind of intimidating because of, again, where I am in my like level of fitness, that it made me feel like, okay, I can't do that. I tried solid core. That was so hard. And so Pilates has been something where it's like, it's getting me moving and getting my body moving. And I feel like my posture is better. Like I said, I feel stronger and I'm feeling more confident too, and feeling like, okay, I can build on the work that I'm doing. So that is like really what I was looking for in terms of like getting back into a workout routine. So I'm feeling really good about that. I think what I want to start adding in the coming weeks is a bit more cardio. I have a gym in my building, so I want to maybe do like the elliptical or Stairmaster like a couple times a week for like 15-20 minutes or so. I mean, I do get, like, I know people say 10,000 steps is the goal. I do typically get about 10,000 steps every day because, I mean, I live in a city, like I said, so walking is a part of my like day-to-day. I don't commute into the office or anything anymore, but any errands I need to run and stuff, for the most part, I'm walking to get to and from the train or bus or whatever, or just walking into a store. And I also have a dog, so we go on 2 walks a day. Granted, they are slow walks, but like they're still like, they're usually in the morning, our walk is a little over a mile, and then in the evening, like a little less than that. So I get at least 10,000 steps every single day. So I do want to add on to that, just to like get a little bit more cardio burn. Here we are, June 21st. Yeah, so it's June 21st. I think I want to keep this vlog going until the beginning of August, because that will have been 3 months of me doing Pilates consistently. So basically having a consistent workout routine. So I'll check in here and there, but just to give some stats, like I said, today is June 19th, or oh my God, June 21st. It was June 19th, a couple days ago, it was Juneteenth. But as of yesterday, I weighed 201 pounds, 201.2 pounds. So I think my goal is about a 185 to 190, like 190 I would be totally fine with. But I also am kind of like, I feel like maybe after I lose about maybe 5 or 10 more pounds from here, I'm just gonna see how my body feels, because like I I don't know, like it's not like I'm a hard and fast, like I need to weigh X amount. I really want to just feel good and feel strong and feel healthy. And I'm already starting to feel a lot like that. Even like some other changes I've noticed in my body, like I've been trying to take my measurements once a month and I've lost like 6 inches around my waist, like 6 inches across my, like my belly area. And that is just like, so, I don't know, it just like feels, I'm like, okay, yes, like it is kind of a good benchmark to have. That's where I am as of today. I'll probably keep popping back in like with updates maybe every week or couple weeks, just like as like a here's what's going on with me now, and in terms of like improvements I've made, changes I've made, and things like that. So we're gonna see how this vlog takes form ultimately, because your guess is as good as mine at this point. I'm back. It's been just about a week, or a little over a week, since I was last on. Honestly, almost a week and a half, because that was a Friday and now I'm realizing today is Tuesday. So I just got back from Pilates. This was my 22nd class. So I'm really proud of myself that I've stuck with it for this long. And again, that's not like a huge accomplishment, but for me it kind of is, just like where I've been in this state lately. I'm about to make some breakfast. Like I said when I started this, we were just kind of diving in and seeing where this video vlog was gonna go. And I realized I haven't talked a lot about like food, nutrition, any like diet, anything like that. But I have done pretty recently, or I do have on my channel from pretty recently, I think it was just from a couple months ago, a like what I eat in a day video. And I would say that is still pretty true to like how I'm eating and everything now. I will say since that video, I was counting calories, I feel like a little bit more precisely. I haven't been doing that as much lately. For maybe like a month or so after that, I stopped like tracking my calories, I guess is what I should say, because I was feeling like pretty intuitive about what I was eating. And I was like was kind of like my take on how I wanted to like implement everything I'm working on throughout this whole journey, we'll say, is to make everything like sustainable and what I could do like long term. And for me, tracking calories every day is absolutely not sustainable long term. So I felt like I got to a good place where I knew what I was eating and like putting in my body. And that's kind of like where I am now. So like I'm not really counting calories, like logging it into like my app and everything, but I know I have a good like idea too of like how things like make me feel. And like I know I'm just like really good, or a lot better. I'm in a better place now of like when I know when I feel full and like feel fine stopping to eat. All that being said, I'm about to make breakfast right now, and I am making like, I've never made this exact variation of what I'm making, but I saw someone make it on YouTube. I saw a creator on YouTube. I think her name is Georgia, her last name, but I stumbled across her videos recently and it looked delicious. So I was like, I'm gonna try this. So it's oatmeal with some chocolate protein powder. And I think, okay, and then she put just strawberries and chocolate chips in hers, like chocolate chips like right at the very end. So what I think I'm gonna do though is slightly change it up, is I'm gonna add half of a banana. I'm gonna like mash up half of a banana to put in there too, so it'll be like a strawberry banana type of vibe. And I think I'm gonna mix that into the oats. And I'm also gonna add just a little bit of chia seeds too. Yeah, I'm gonna add just a little bit of chia seeds for some like extra like protein, fiber, whatever. So otherwise, pretty basic like oatmeal recipe. Anyway, okay, I'm about to get started on that. While I'm doing that, like I said, I just went to my 22nd Pilates class. I'm feeling very proud of myself. For just like sticking, like I said, with this. And kind of like I was saying just a few minutes ago, I feel now like it's just like a part of my like day-to-day routine. And it's not like I'm having to like, it doesn't feel like, I guess a chore is maybe the right word to say. It's just like, oh yeah, let me go to Pilates because like this is a part of like my routine. It's part of who I am now, I guess you could say. And I can tell a difference. I don't want to say significant, but a decently significant difference in like my strength. And I can tell a difference in just the way, like in the classes that I'm doing, like things feel easier than they did, or more manageable than they did like when I first started. And actually, so I went to on my 20th class, which I just took on Friday a few days ago. It was actually a workshop to like level up to the next level of classes. So what I really liked about Club Pilates is, and this like again was what made it like kind of, I felt comfortable like diving into it, is that the classes are all like on different levels. So I've been just taking level 1, like, which is basically like the entry level classes. And I've taken about 20 of those. And okay, so I just mashed up that banana into this bowl, but I'm like, while everything is like kind of cooking and brewing. Okay, so the level up workshop that I went to, it was basically with an instructor kind of talking through instead of, so in the 1.5 class, because that's what I would level up to next, you do like slightly more advanced moves than like you would do in the level 1 class. So the instructor essentially like went through, like demoed them, which they don't normally do in the 1.5s. They don't demo them like as slowly as they would. So she went through that and like helped us with like form and everything, like if you needed any corrections, just to make sure that like you knew what you were doing, felt comfortable, and that you were like capable of doing it. I have to say, I was like very pleasantly surprised with myself on how much I was able to actually do, because there were some things she demoed and I was like, oh, I don't know if I can do that. That looks a little crazy. And then I just did it pretty like easily and seamlessly. Like, for instance, one of them was doing a plank on the reformer, and when she showed that, I was like, whoa, yikes, that looks crazy. But then I just went right into it. I was able to do it, and then I could even do like a plank. I'll try to show like a picture of, or a video of someone doing it. It won't be me, but just to give you an example of what I'm talking about. And I was able to just like plank in and out, and it was fine. And even a lot of the standing stuff that we did on the reformer, I felt good about it. I have zero core strength, or I had zero core strength. So I will say like abs stuff is still a little challenging. Like that's what I feel like I had the hardest time with in the class. But I mean, I was still able to do all of it. But I felt good being like, okay, now I know I'm like ready for the next level of classes. So the class I went to this morning was still like a level 1 reformer flow class. I have taken 1.5 classes for like the cardio classes, like the cardio sculpt and the bar type class, because they only offer them at 1.5. And the suspend class that I took, that TRX one I mentioned, that was technically a 1.5, but I haven't taken any flow classes at 1.5. So it felt good to know like, okay, yeah, I can do this, and like I am improving, like my strength is improving. So that felt good. So next week I am starting to take some 1.5 flow classes. Like I'm building those into my schedule. I wish that I could. I don't know how people that I see post videos of them like in their specifically reformer Pilates classes, like post videos of themselves working out, or like take videos of themselves in the class working out, because, and maybe it's just the way my studio is set up because it is pretty small. Like there's like not a lot of space anywhere, or like no good space that I could like put my phone, or like, and I definitely wouldn't bring my camera, and I also don't want to invade other people's like privacy in terms of like them working out too. So I haven't really taken a lot of content of me like physically in the classes. But anyway, like I said, really excited, or feeling really good and really strong moving up in my classes. So actually I did weigh myself the other day, I think, and I had technically gained, we'll say, like 1 pound, or maybe 2 pounds. And I'm kind of like not really paying attention to that or writing it off, because that's like, I feel like getting too caught up in the scale, especially like kind of where I am now in this like part of my fitness journey, it can be distracting, because there could be like a variety of things going on inside of your body, but also since I have been working out more, like I am gaining more muscle, I hope. So, I mean, I'll still keep like looking kind of at the scale, I think probably like weekly, but I won't be, I feel like, as like tied up in, I mean, if the numbers keep like consistently going up, that might be maybe something to like keep an eye on. But otherwise I feel really good. So for me, like that feels like I feel fine about that. I'm gonna finish making this breakfast, and I'll probably be back for like another check-in in like a week or so. Yeah, I'll probably say like next week, after I've done a few of those reformer flow 1.5 classes, to see like, was I truly up for the challenge? I'm feeling like I was, but we'll see. Okay, so it's actually still the same day, so I lied when I said it'd be like maybe a couple weeks before I came back on. But I just put on a pair of shorts that I haven't worn in probably a year, to be honest, because I mean, it's summer now, it's just now June, and I remember the last time I wore them, I was so uncomfortable. Like I felt like I was gonna puke. I'll actually try to show a picture of how they fit on me then on the screen here. And I just put them on right now, and I was shocked actually when I went to like slide them on that they are like very, because I loved these shorts. They were so comfortable. They're from like Target, but they're a nice pair of cutoffs. But when I went to put them on right now, they were like they're like giving roomy, comfy. They're roomy, not my dog, but like I have still like a little bit of extra space in the waist, but this is how I would prefer for them to fit. But it's always kind of nice when like clothes fit again. So that probably is for real the last time I'll be. Also, I like have this pimple on my face that's really bothering me. It's probably for real the last time that I'll be back on for like a couple of weeks, or like a week or so, with more of an update on my continual journey, on this continual growth journey. I'm not gonna lie, it's been much longer than a week since that last clip. So I think it's honestly been about 6 weeks, because today is August 19th, and that was like at the very beginning, like the first week of July. I'm not gonna say I fell off of the vlog, but I kind of forgot. I had a lot of other stuff going on, and also vlogging some other content in the meantime. But I just had my 3-month checkup with my PCP today, so I was like, this is a perfect time to come back and give an update, and also like wrap up and close out the vlog, I think, at this point. So in that time, in that 6 weeks since I was last on, I have still been super consistent with going to Pilates. I actually think I'm on my, I'm at my 45th class. Well, as of tomorrow, I'll go into my 45th class, which again, I'm just feeling really good about. And I mean, that's since the beginning of May. So what is that, in like 3.5 months, May, June, July, half of August, I've gone to just about 45 classes. I'm feeling like I think I said in that in my last update, I was starting to take like the 1.5 classes, and I've been taking them really consistently. There've been a handful of times here and there I've still taken the Reformer Flow ones, just because like based on availability, but I think it's still good to take them just to like work on my form, and as I'm still like kind of new-ish to Pilates, but I have a really consistent schedule down now, so, and that's like really been working for me, and I feel like has been helping me stay motivated, keep the classes interesting, and like work towards my goals. So I've been going about 4 times a week. There's some weeks where I've only gone 3 times if I don't, like, depending on what my schedule is, but I try to go to 1 cardio sculpt class a week, 2 reformer flow classes, and then usually either like a center and balance or a reformer flow 1 class as like that 4th class. So I was kind of starting to go to some of the control classes. I think they were just a little bit too, I don't know if they were too hard for me still, or maybe I was going to too many classes and trying to throw, maybe that's something I could go to like if I'm only going to 3 classes a week, because when I did go to a handful of control classes, I mean, those are like kind of bar focused. So I do feel like it's a little bit more body weight. Whereas I really like with the reformer, what I like is that it's helping to guide you along. You're still doing a lot of the work, but like it's a helpful tool. Okay, Rumi, enough. This isn't about you. I think I'm gonna hold on that, going back to those classes for now. But I really love the cardio sculpt class, because it is like, it's not cardio, but it's a little bit like, it's your heart pumping a little bit. So it's like, instead of just a typical reformer flow class, you have like a jump board at the end of the reformer instead of the foot bar. So you're like jumping off of the, like using that jump board to like propel your legs off. It's like kind of like little jumping motions and stuff. So I've been taking those, and I just feel like I've really built a good schedule and like a good rhythm for how I like am incorporating in my weekly workout. So I'm glad that I've been sticking with that. People talk a lot about reformer Pilates being expensive. It's not cheap, not transparently, but for me, it's like a good something I feel like I'm making an investment on in terms of my health. And so I have an unlimited membership, like I mentioned, so I pay $259 a month, and I've been going, like I said, to about 16, some months only 14 classes a month, but that still comes down to like, for me, a good value. I feel like I'm getting my money's worth, and it's something that is really working for me, and an investment that I like making. I have not though added in like any extra cardio, like I mentioned, that I was trying to do. I don't know. I could say I haven't found the time, but I maybe just haven't prioritized finding the time. But I also think that might be, I think I mentioned earlier on in the vlog, that I have very much like I feel like I have had an all or nothing attitude when it comes to fitness, and the more things I try to pile on, it gets a little bit more overwhelming, and I'm almost like, okay, well, if I can't fit this thing in, then I'm not doing anything. So I'm still walking like regularly every day, like about 10,000 steps or so, taking my dog on like 2 walks a day. So I'm still getting in like that kind of a movement, but I just haven't been incorporating in more like intentional cardio, which is something I do still want to work on. So room for improvement, room for growth, as always. In terms of like how I've been feeling, I do feel like I can tell not huge differences, but differences in my body, like the way that my body looks. Like my shoulders, I feel like are looking much more like defined. Like I can see like some more muscle definition, I guess. My like waist is feeling a bit more like slimmer. My legs are feeling more toned. I feel like I'm getting again back to myself like pre-pandemic. It's good, and I feel like things working out feels less cumbersome than it did before. Even just like going up and down the stairs, like a bunch of stairs, like is a lot less like doesn't feel as like hard on my body. Even like picking up my dog, like Rumi is 25 pounds. Sometimes on walks she will refuse to keep walking, and I'm like, okay, I'm ready to get home. It's really hot. Like if it gets too hot, then she just like won't walk anymore. And I feel like I was having a hard time like carrying her for like a longer than like a block and walking, but now I feel like I can easily scoop her up, carry her like a couple blocks even in the heat, and like it's no big deal. I feel like even when I went to Lollapalooza a couple weeks ago, I feel like having a stronger core made like standing in the crowds and like my I guess like stamina like a lot better. I don't even know if that's like a real thing, but it kind of felt like it was. But overall I'm feeling really good. Also in terms of like a weight update, I have just now officially under 200 pounds. I like at the doctor today, my weight was 198, which is in line with what I had been weighing like in the past week. Like my at-home scale has been showing too. So again, that's a good feeling. I think I mentioned my goal weight is maybe, and I hate even using the phrase goal weight, but like my target is around like 185, 190. So I'm getting pretty close to that, but I'm also not getting hung up on like, if I don't lose these next like 8 to 10 pounds, I'm not gonna be like, it's not that deep, I guess, to a degree. Like as long as I'm feeling healthy and feeling strong and like feeling good about the way like my body is moving through the world, then like the weight is kind of like just a number at the end of the day. But my doctor did say I'm making good progress, and just the frequency at which I'm losing weight is very manageable, because it's been a slow process, but like it's something that you can maintain long term, rather than dropping like 20 pounds all of a sudden. Like that would not be something sustainable and like something I'd be able to keep up forever. So, and I will say too, in terms of just like food and everything, I've been eating pretty clean, I feel like, but it's not something, and I feel like it's not something that I don't feel like I'm having to like force myself to do these. It's just like the things I'm naturally deciding to eat are things that are like healthy and good and whole foods. But I mean, I still go out to eat. Like I haven't really been drinking very much at all. I just haven't had an interest in drinking, but when I've gone out here and there, I've had cocktails and stuff like that. And like I love to go out to eat and like have good food. So I'm still doing all of those things, but just I feel like it's just I feel like I don't know, I'm just approaching it in a different way, like in moderation, which is really great. We have to live life. Like to me, at least this is my take on things. I still have to and want to live. Life is too short to not enjoy like the little things. So I have a monthly dinner club that I go out to. Like we go like out to a nice dinner once a month. I have family and friends that come in. I go out to dinner with them. I did have like I now am on the 12.5 dosage of zepbound. And when I want to say it was maybe the first week or two that I went up to that, I went out, my mom was in town and we went out to like, we had some good food. We went to Soul Prime in Lincoln Park. If you've never been, 12 out of 10 would recommend. But I mean, we had like fried chicken, fried catfish, like cornbread, like I had a couple cocktails, and I did not feel well the next day. So I was like, okay, that was like a good learning. Like, I mean, I would do it all over again. I wouldn't not do any of that, but it was like, okay, maybe I should have, there's just maybe some like, maybe I should have taken some extra Pepsid or something before I had that, because I feel like just that food sitting on my stomach just did not feel good with my body. But like I said, you got one life to live. Eat the cake, as they say. So anyway, I am gonna close out the vlog here, because now it's been about what? It's been almost 4 full months that this vlog has spanned over. So I feel like maybe I'll come back and do an update at the end of the year, but I'm really feeling like I'm in a good place. I'm making good progress I've built these sustainable habits that I'm able to like work into my lifestyle and maintain, so that I am able to keep up this weight loss, because now I have officially lost 40 pounds. So I can maintain to keep up my 40-pound weight loss, maybe add a few pounds onto that, but at the very least maintain this 40-pound weight loss that I have achieved. So if you made it this far in the vlog, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment if you have any, if you've experienced like a similar journey, I guess you could say, or if you have any other like tips on like foods to try, or like maybe workouts or something that you think I might like. But subscribe if you want to see more content from me. Thank you again so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.